So I want to welcome everyone to our live Saturday morning presentation. Again, you should be able to see my screen. The top of it is the vitamin D video. I'm going to show you this video. It's just a little over 11 minutes in length. And then we're going to talk about how you can use it from a marketing standpoint. But before I do that, I want to go into this information. It's really important to understand this, that when you're talking about health issues, you do not want to lead with any products or supplements. You always want to talk in terms of either ingredients and what the research says about those ingredients and their benefits to improving health concerns. And if you follow that structure, you're going to be able to stay compliant with government regulations. The government does not like us talking about a product and then talking about how that product can help you prevent something or deal with some type of illness or issue. And if you do that, you're putting yourself into position of potential problem as well as synergy worldwide. So you always want to talk about ingredients, what the research says. Like when we do nitric oxide therapy, it's all nitric oxide therapy. This is what nitric oxide can do. This is what the research about nitric oxide says. And it's the same process with regards to vitamin D. This is what the research says about vitamin D. And then if a person has an interest in what you're sharing with them, then it's our or my product of choice is whatever it is, and here's the reason why. So my product of choice is the Chewable Vitamin D3 supplement from Synergy Worldwide, and here's the reason why. Or my product of choice is ProArch9 Plus from Synergy Worldwide, and here's the reason why. And then have 2 to 4 reasons why you've made that product your product of choice. However, make sure that none of those reasons have anything to do with protecting you from or protecting that person from the health concern or concerns that you're talking about. Again, you want to focus on quality assurance steps or clinically or unique design of the product, or if there's any clinically proven claims that we can make for the product. Like for ProArch9 Plus, we can make certain clinically proven claims because the product is clinically proven in those areas. So on ProArch9 Plus, we can say it's been clinically proven to produce higher levels of nitric oxide and do it more rapidly than L-arginine alone. And it's been clinically proven to prevent vascular inflammation in 2 specific ways or 2 unique ways. And then focus on cost issues like the money back guarantee. That way, you maintain the separation between what ingredients can do to help improve a person and then our product of choice. And here's the reason why we've made it our product of choice. And those reasons have to do with, again, quality assurance steps, unique design, clinically proven claims, if there are any for that product, money back guarantee. So with that said, I'm going to show you this new video on the vitamin D deficiency. Let me go over. This video is non-branded. This video is up on our YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube for Our Synergy Family, you can find it. I also have the link in the PDF. I'll come to that after we play it. Everyone should be able to hear the sound on my computer, so here we go. In today's presentation, we're going to focus on vitamin D deficiency and how it impacts your health, especially your immune system. At the time of this video, our world is in a COVID-19 pandemic with over 500,000 deaths worldwide and over 130,000 deaths here in the United States. There is emerging data that shows how vitamin D deficiency can play a major role in symptom severity and mortality rates. The most recent study to emerge regarding COVID-19 and vitamin D deficiency comes from Indonesia. The title of the study is Patterns of COVID-19 Mortality and Vitamin D, an Indonesian study. In this observational study, they examined 780 cases and found that higher levels of vitamin D in the bloodstream were associated with decreased symptoms and mortality. In fact, when you look at the death rate, this association becomes startling. The following chart helps you see this. 50% of the cases had normal vitamin D levels. We'll talk about what is considered normal in just a moment. The remaining 50% of these cases were either insufficient or deficient in their vitamin D levels. For those with normal vitamin D levels, the death rate was 4%, meaning 4 people out of 100 would die from COVID-19. For those who had insufficient levels of vitamin D in the bloodstream, the death rate was 88%. 88 people out of 100 died. And for those who had deficient vitamin D levels, the death rate was 99%. 99 people out of 100 died from the COVID-19 virus. This death rate, or percent mortality rate, is like night and day. 4% for those with normal vitamin D levels versus 88% for insufficient and 99% for deficient levels. Which brings us to the question, what determines a normal vitamin D level in your bloodstream? To answer that, we need some background on vitamin D. In nature, there are 2 forms of vitamin D. One form is vitamin D2. This form is found in plants and is called ergocalciferol. Unfortunately, this form is hard for the human body to convert into an active compound. Because of this, vitamin D3 is the better source. Vitamin D3 is found in animals and is called cholecalciferol. Responsible sourcing of this form is typically produced from lanolin that is washed out of sheep's wool. As I tell my vegan and vegetarian friends, no sheep are killed or eaten. In fact, you are doing sheep a favor by shearing the wool and then washing out the lanolin, which is then used to produce vitamin D3. By themselves, both forms are inactive. Our body has to convert them to an active compound. This is usually done by the liver and then the kidneys. This image helps you to understand that there are 3 primary ways for your body to increase its vitamin D levels. First is sunlight. Sunlight stimulates your skin to produce what is called 7-dehydrocholesterol, which is then converted to vitamin D3. Unfortunately, in today's world, we are told to wear sunscreen, a hat, and long clothes to protect ourselves from sunlight and the potential for skin cancer. Plus, the darker the skin color, the less effect sunlight has on stimulating the skin to produce 7-dehydrocholesterol. Eating foods or taking a supplement with adequate amounts of vitamin D3 is usually the easiest way to increase your vitamin D levels. As you can see by this image, your body needs vitamin D3 in its bloodstream. As blood travels through your liver, it converts the vitamin D3 to 25-hydroxycholecalciferol, which is then converted by your kidneys into 25-dehydroxycholecalciferol. This final conversion is what is measured in your bloodstream. A simple blood test can determine if you fall into one of the following 3 categories. And it is these 3 categories that were used to separate the cases in the Indonesian study. Normal would be 30 nanograms per milliliter or higher. Insufficient would be 21 to 29 nanograms per milliliter. Deficiency would be 20 nanograms per milliliter or less. Again, what were the mortality rates in the Indonesian study? 4% for those with normal vitamin D levels, 88% for those with insufficient levels, and 99% for those who are vitamin D deficient. This issue of vitamin D deficiency may be an underlying reason for the disparities in COVID-19 cases when comparing ethnic groups here in the United States and around the world. The following study was published in 2011. It found that 41.6% of American adults are vitamin D deficient. But when viewed based on skin color or ethnicity, the following was discovered. 69.2% of Hispanics were vitamin D deficient. 82.1% of African Americans were vitamin D deficient. Again, this might be a significant factor in why COVID-19 has been a greater issue in the Black population groups, as well as Hispanics having a higher risk when compared to the general population. If you do a Google search titled COVID-19 and vitamin D, you will find other observational studies that support this relationship between symptom severity and lack of vitamin D. such as vitamin D insufficiency, is prevalent in severe COVID-19. Emerging health disparities data regarding African Americans and homeless populations suggest that vitamin D insufficiency may be an underlying driver of the COVID-19 severity, or COVID-19 deaths are being linked to vitamin D deficiency. Here's what that means. The researchers dug through existing health literature to catalog the average levels of vitamin D among citizens of 20 European countries, and then compared the figures with the relative numbers of COVID-19 deaths in each country. A simple statistical test showed that there was a pretty convincing correlation between the figures, where populations with lower than average concentrations of the vitamin also featured more deaths from SARS-CoV-2. And the following quote comes from the researchers of this study. The most vulnerable group of population for COVID-19 is also the one that has the most deficient in vitamin D. End of quote. Low levels of vitamin D are also associated with the following diseases: tuberculosis, asthma, COPD, viral respiratory infections, bacterial respiratory infections, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease. And there are other studies that show how vitamin D supplements reduce arterial stiffness and blood pressure. This lowers the risk for both strokes and heart attacks, which brings us to our final two questions. First, how much vitamin D3 should you consume on a daily basis? To answer this question, I'm going to use a table from the Cleveland Clinic. We've highlighted in yellow the age category for most of the people viewing this video. According to our government, you would need 600 to 800 IU, or international units, on a daily basis. However, the Cleveland Clinic would recommend an upper level intake of 4,000 international units per day. The RDA is the minimal amount to provide some benefit. The upper level intake from the Cleveland Clinic would be for optimizing your intake of vitamin D3 to help maximize your potential benefits. The average of these two recommendations is 2,300 international units per day. So taking at least 2,000 international units per day would be a level that would benefit most people. Finally, our last question in this video. Is there a recommended supplement for getting the needed level of vitamin D3 per day? Before I answer that question, let me show you the following foods that most people would choose to increase their vitamin D intake. Salmon. If it's fresh and wild, you can see that 3.5 ounces would give you a range between 400 to 1,000 international units. But if that salmon was farmed, then the same amount, 3.5 ounces, would only give you 100 to 250 international units. And if you're trying to get your vitamin D3 through fortified milk, you can see that 8 ounces only gives you 100 international units. As you can see, you would need to eat a lot of this food each day to get the needed intake of vitamin D3. Supplements would be a much more cost-effective way. And there are hundreds of vitamin D supplements in the market, but our product of choice is the Chewable Vitamin D3 supplement from Synergy Worldwide. And here's why. Each chewable tablet gives you 62.5 micrograms, which is 2,500 international units of vitamin D3. There are 150 tablets per bottle, which would last you for 5 months if you take 1 per day. If you decide to take 2 per day, then this would last you for 2.5 months, 13 cents per 1 chewable tablet, or 26 cents per day if you are taking 2 of them. This means that spending a quarter a day on increasing your vitamin D intake could pay some significant health dividends. Plus, this supplement is chewable, which means that you can increase your body's ability to absorb the vitamin D3 by completely chewing it first in the mouth, compared to swallowing a tablet that has to be broken down by the stomach and digestive system. Another factor in why this is our product of choice is the quality assurance standards for this product. Produced by Nature Sunshine Products in Spanish Fork, Utah, this facility is FDA audited and TGA certified. This means you will always get the same reproducible benefits from every batch produced. This brings us to the end of our presentation. If you can see the benefit of how vitamin D3 can improve your overall health, then I would invite you to talk to the person who showed you this video. They can help you implement a vitamin D3 strategy that can help you and your loved ones take a proactive approach to elite health. Thank you for watching, and we hope this information has been helpful. All right, that's the video. Let me go back to our PDF. So the link to that video is in this PDF. This PDF will be made available to everyone on the Tuesday newsletter that goes out, as well as we're recording today's presentation. And then what I want to do now is I want to look at some potential marketing strategies that if you want to go down this pathway of helping people to understand the importance of vitamin D3 and what it can do for their immune system and cardiovascular health and other issues. You know, we spent, I think it was 2 Saturdays ago, or maybe a little bit longer, we actually spent a whole time on looking at vitamin D and how important it is with regards to multiple health issues. And you can find that Saturday recording again if you go to YouTube to Our Synergy Family. All of these Saturday recordings are all posted up onto our channel on YouTube, so you can always find that presentation. But if you were looking for some marketing strategies, here are just some suggestions that I would have for you. Again, every suggestion is just that. It's a suggestion. You know, you need to put it in your words and in the way that you like to make information presentations. But if I was going to do a social media campaign on Facebook, I would do something along the lines of the following. I just came across the new video on YouTube discussing the importance of vitamin D in your immune system. It is outstanding. So I thought I'd share it with you. Here's the link. DM me if you have any questions. Pretty straightforward. Again, the reason for why it's worded the way it is again, I just came across. So it's something that you just found. It's a new video. So it's not something that's old, out of date. You know, this is new. It's on YouTube. It's discussing the importance of vitamin D. It's outstanding. It's, you know, whatever you want to do. And I thought I'd share it with you. Here's the link. And that way you give people the ability to make the choice whether they want to click on that link. That link will take them to the video that you just saw. You can see that it's non-branded. You can see that the first half or first 2/3 of the video is all in relationship to vitamin D3. And then the last question, is there a supplement? Yes, there's hundreds of supplements, but our product of choice. And then it goes into the reasons why it's our product of choice. And those reasons, again, fit this whole narrative of what I shared with you. Our product of choice is the chewable vitamin D3 from Synergy Worldwide, and here's why. So we talked, you know, in regards to why it's our product of choice, not in terms of necessarily that it's going to solve the issues of the health things that we discussed before. Now, the other one would be a simple email. You know, you could do a very simple email campaign to family and friends. Dear Susan, I just came across the new video on YouTube discussing the importance of vitamin D and your immune system. It is outstanding. So I thought I'd share it with you. Here's the link. Call me if you have any questions. Again, whatever you want to end your email with, you put your name and your phone number. That way, you know, if they decide that they want to call you, they don't have to look you up into their phone directory or whatever. It's right there. You make it as easy as possible for people to take an action. Maybe you want to do a Zoom meeting or a Facebook Live. You know, again, you know, I don't do a lot with regards to Facebook Live. I know that Judy has done this. I know that David has done some Facebook Live things. Some of them pretty successful. You know, I did a Facebook Live presentation with David on vitamin D deficiency, and last time I checked, and that was about 2 weeks ago, over 1,000 people had viewed that information. Again, it's on David's channel. You know, I don't know, you know, if that resulted in any kind of conversations or sales for him, but it did get a large amount of exposure. So again, it's pretty much the same thing. I just came across some exciting information on how vitamin D can help improve the immune system. Join me for a special presentation on either Zoom or Facebook Live. You know, you can do this on Facebook if you want. Again, you know, you can, I think, interface your Zoom with a Facebook Live at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, July 31st. You know, whatever the time and date is, you know, that's why I've got it highlighted in yellow. It's just simply because you need to decide whether you're going to do Zoom, Facebook Live, what your time is, and the date that you're going to do it. Please invite your family and friends. And then on that date, you do a Facebook Live presentation or a Zoom presentation that people can watch. And what you can do is exactly what I did today. You do an introduction and then you show them the video. And they can then see the video. The presentation is the video. It's not like you have to become an expert. It's not like you have to do a slide presentation. All you need to do is do a what we would call a pre-event notice, you know, to create excitement about it, and then the actual event. But the actual event, you show the 11-minute and 39-second video, and before you show that, you just do a short introduction, and then you just do your follow-up at the end of the video, like I'm going to do today. You open it up for questions from people who might be on the event to be able to answer their questions. And if someone asks you, you know, do you use this product or what? If you do, say yes. If you don't, tell them why not. You know, I get my vitamin D3 through another product from Synergy called ProArginine Plus. Every scoop of ProArginine Plus is 1,600 international units of vitamin D3. And since I take 2 scoops on a daily basis, that's given me 3,200 international units of vitamin D3. So I don't use the chewable, but if I wasn't taking ProArginine Plus, then yes, I would be doing the chewable vitamin D3 from Synergy Worldwide. You know, and again, why is it our product of choice? It's a tasty chewable tablet for better absorption. Each tablet is 2,500 international units of vitamin D3. Again, that fits into the narrative of the video where we talk about the government's recommendation, the Cleveland Clinic's recommendation, which is certainly much more significantly higher than the government. The average is 2,300. The recommendation in the video is at least 2,000 international units on a daily basis. And if I'm consuming or chewing one chewable tablet from Synergy Worldwide, I'm getting 2,500 international units of vitamin D3. There's 150 tablets per bottle. So it's very cost effective at about 13 cents a tablet. So if you decide that you want to take 1 or 2 tablets per day to help you, address, so you can decide if you want to take 1 or 2 tablets per day to help you address your vitamin D concerns. Again, we don't talk about how vitamin D3 is going to solve any health issues. We already talked about vitamin D3 in that context. All we're talking about now is why this chewable vitamin D3 from Synergy Worldwide is our product of choice. If people decide that they want to get the chewable vitamin D3 product from Synergy Worldwide, my recommendation would be to offer them 2 choices. Again, I'll just share with you my recommendation, and then I'll tell you the reasoning for it. You can get either 1 bottle or 4 bottles when you order. And let me explain the difference. Shipping is a flat $13. If you buy 1 bottle, the price is $18 plus shipping. But if you buy 4 bottles, the price is $56 plus the same shipping fee. You save $4 per bottle, which more than covers the cost of shipping. Both choices come with a 120-day, 100% money-back guarantee. So the 4-bottle program would allow you to share the product with family and friends. Which choice would be best for you? And that question, no matter what you do before that, that question is the question that you need to land on and ask. Because that question pretty much will stop discussion and put them into one of two choices. One bottle for $18 plus shipping, or 4 bottles for $56 plus shipping. And once you ask that question, just be quiet, allow them time to process, and provide you with an answer. Now, maybe they'll come back to you and have a couple questions about the two options that you might have to ask, or I'm sure you might have to answer. But once you've answered their questions, you got to learn to use this last statement, which is a question: which choice would be best for you? So again, if you've done your presentation, you've given them the two options, you ask them which choice would be best for you. Maybe they have some questions about the information you gave to them. Once you answer those questions, which choice would be best for you? And then you be quiet. If that I don't think I'm ready yet, okay, great. Understand that, completely respect it. If you change your mind, I'm a firm believer in vitamin D. And if you want what I believe is the best product in the marketplace for it, let me know. Give me a call. And if a person says, I want 1 bottle, great. That's the, you don't try and upsell them back to 4. If it's 1 bottle, great. That's an excellent choice. Let's go ahead and get that order processed. If it's 4 bottles, great. That's an excellent choice. Let's get that order processed. Now, from a customer standpoint, all your customers are tied to your tracking center 1. So here's the CV values. 1 bottle is 15 CV, 4 bottles is 48 CV. If you're already at the 150 CV threshold, if you're here in the United States, if you're up in Canada, the threshold is 100 CV, then you become eligible for a 25% elite rebate. So that's elite rebate of $3.75 for 1 bottle and $12 on the 4 bottle program. Again, this program is not designed to create independent residual income and wealth for you. It's a process of what we're invested in Synergy worldwide. We're invested in helping people improve their health with the best products that we know of in the industry today. We can help people make some significant improvements in their health through the products that Synergy Worldwide has, and how they can help them improve their vitamin D levels in their bloodstream. And it adds additional cash flow to help you grow your Synergy business. Now, if you scale this, where you make this a focus in what you're doing in your Synergy business, and you end up with 100 clients that are using the vitamin D product, if you've got 100 clients that are buying just 1 bottle, well, then that's adding $375 to your cash flow. If you got 100 clients that are doing the 4 bottle program, then that's adding $1,200 in cash flow to your Synergy business. Again, it's not retirement income, but it is cash flow. It is helping people, take steps to improve their health. And as people take steps to improve their health, if you're in contact with your clients, they become open and receptive to other ways that they can improve their health. And in today's world that we live in, people are looking for ways to improve their health. So hopefully, as we go through the COVID-19 pandemic here in the United States, we can continue this process of helping to educate people on how they can improve their health by certain ingredients. And then as people ask us, or it comes in the video that we use, our product of choice for helping to improve vitamin D levels in my bloodstream, our product of choice is the Chewable Vitamin D3 product from Synergy Worldwide, and here's why. Now, with that said, that's my presentation for today. Do I have any questions from anyone? You'll have to unmute yourself. Everyone is muted, so you'll have to unmute yourself and ask me your questions. The remaining time is completely up to you.
Yeah, Dan, this is Bob. Just quickly, that's really a great video. Thank you so much for putting that together. I'll make sure that I get that out to everybody. Thank you.
You're welcome, Bob.
Dan, this is Jody.
Yes, Jody.
Can you take too much vitamin D? And if so, what happens?
Okay, so yes, you can take too much vitamin D. It depends on who you read. If you look in this video, I decided not to put in information from the Vitamin D Council, because the Vitamin D Council will tell you that you can take up to 10,000 international units on a daily basis without any issues. And when it comes to your bloodstream, when we go back, I don't have it on this PDF, but if you remember, a person who has normal vitamin D levels is a person who has 30 nanograms per milliliter. Well, if you were above 100 nanograms per milliliter, physicians would get concerned that you have too much vitamin D in your bloodstream, and too much vitamin D can have some health issues to it. But if you looked at the Vitamin D Council, they would have no problem if you were above 100. They would even go to 120 nanograms per milliliter before they would have any concern. So depending upon, the doctor that you're dealing with when you go to get a blood test, and if you get a blood test, they do not measure your vitamin D levels automatically. So it would be something that if you're going into, get a blood test done for some reason, just ask them if they can add the vitamin D component to it, because you want to know what your vitamin D levels are in your bloodstream. And then based upon that, you can make the decision on how much vitamin D you take in. So if your blood test came back where you were 30 or above, then you could decide to continue just doing exactly what you've been doing. If you came back at 30 and you wanted to be maybe 50 to 80 in your bloodstream, then you would need to implement some type of vitamin D program above what you're currently taking. Certainly for a person who comes back insufficient or deficient in their vitamin D levels, then definitely they want to implement something to get their vitamin D3 levels up. They can do it through food, but as I showed in the video, food is one way of doing it, but it becomes a more expensive way, and you've got to eat a lot of food. I mean, if you're looking like just in fortified milk, that's eight ounces, which is 1 cup, is 100 international units. And if I'm wanting to get 2,000 international units, I've got to drink 20 cups of milk on a daily. No one's going to do that. And the cost for doing something like that, or eating 7 ounces of wild salmon, again, when you look at the cost of the wild salmon versus what you're getting from international units on a daily basis, it's much more cost effective to get your vitamin D3 into your system through a good supplement. Does that help?
It sure does. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good morning, Dan. This is Dave. How are you?
Good, Dave. Yourself?
I'm great. Thank you. Listen, enjoy the presentation, the video. I always take away a little bit of a nugget. I wanted to thank you for sharing that great information about the shipping charges. That's always a great leverage point in terms of increasing the amount of purchases logically that individuals buy. So that was great, because I am promoting more and more the vitamin D product, and I had not thought about the shipping. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean, the shipping at $13 and the bottle costs me $18. It's like shipping's almost the same cost as what the product is. And that's why you give 2 choices. And in giving 2 choices, again, you're setting it up where they can see the logic of the second choice, because the second choice it's $56. Okay, I'm going to spend more money, but I'm saving $4 a bottle, which covers my cost of shipping. And and I planted the seed where they can share it with family and friends.
Absolutely. Plus, you could say you could either pay $13 for one bottle or cut the shipping cost of $3 and change, per bottle or something like that. Use that kind of logic, and you make a difference between either $13 or $3 and change. It just makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, thanks again. It's just anything we could use to just give us little nuggets of information to leverage during a conversation. It always is helpful. So appreciate it.
You're welcome. Anyone else with any questions or comments before we say goodbye?
Hey, Dan, it's Judy.
Yes, Judy.
This is such an easy no-brainer and a great way to introduce synergy into a customer's life, because the numbers speak for themselves, and so many people are doing whatever they can to mitigate things around COVID. So an easy sell, and from here we can introduce other things to our customers. And that's really what customer service is all about. So thank you for this.
Yeah, Judy, and I just wanted to take what you've just said and let people know that you're absolutely correct. This becomes a way for people to be introduced to Synergy Worldwide in a very cost-effective way. And then as you build that relationship, they become open. Well, are there other products in Synergy Worldwide besides this vitamin D3? Absolutely. In fact, let me send you a link to their catalog, and then you can look at it online. And if you see anything that you like, let me know, and I can help you get that order placed. So because you're using modern day technology, digital assets, the Synergy catalog is a digital asset, and they update that digital asset as opposed to a hard copy catalog. And in that way, you don't have an expense of a catalog, you don't have a shipping cost of a catalog, you just have a link that you send to a person that they can open, go through the catalog, write down, you can set it up, write down anything that piques your interest, and let's talk about, how that product could help you improve your health. And then you do your follow-up and see, are there any products that they found that they want more information about? So yes, as you've said, it is a great way to introduce people in a very low cost-effective way to the Synergy products, and then the opportunity to leverage that in other products that could benefit their health. Thanks for bringing that up. I think there was someone that was going to say something before Judy talked.
Yes, Dan, it's Donald.
Yes, Donald.
Thank you for putting together this awesome presentation.
You're welcome.
In fact, I've been triangulating with a couple of doctors and scientists who, in talking about vitamin D, no one has done, although yes, they have indicated the vitamin D deficiency. You have succinct this video very, very nicely, and I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Anyone else before we say goodbye?
Hi, Dan. Marvin.
Hello. Hi, Marvin.
I just want to say it's a good presentation as usual, but I find that, when you've got certain problems and stuff, you go to the doctor, you don't get the sort of kind of information like to really help you with the problem that you have. I don't like synthetic medication. That's what I call it. So I don't take tablets for anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the vitamin D3 in that they're chewable, they're nice and they're easy and they're sweet.
Yes.
Nice little sweet taste to them, so I like them.
Well, good. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, but I find that it can take, so many people can just go to a health store and just pick up like any old thing or any vitamin D, but you know, you're not sure that you'll be picking up the right one, because I would do that. But now that I'm getting more knowledgeable on this stuff and things that I need to put in my body, and I'm thankful.
Great. Thank you for sharing that.
I'm thankful. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
All right. Anyone else before we say goodbye?
I'll join you again next Saturday.
It
If
is.
you're on. If you're on.
All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for your time today. With that, I'm going to go ahead and close off our presentation. Next week, it's Bob Wishmeyer and Judy Feldhausen. They're going to, again, give us another leadership development. And I think it's the last chapter in the Les Brown book on leadership development. I could be wrong on that, but I think it is the last one. So thank you, everyone. Have a blessed Saturday. We'll see you.
Thank you. You have a great one, too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.